There we go. Welcome to the Hip Hop Hustle podcast. We are back. I'm extremely excited about my next guest, the one, the only Joey Pappas. She's come through, Aussie artist. I don't have many Aussies on the show, so it's about time I got an Aussie to come through. If you haven't kept up to date, she's dropped 2 singles, New Pills and Insane. Speaking of Insane, they're both awesome. So please make sure you check them out. But it's an absolute pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm so excited.
I'm always interested, like, in the beginning of a journey, right? Because you're up and coming, you're developing as an artist. Like, why music? What made you? I think it's kind of crazy. Like, it is just throwing your hat into the ring. It is just putting yourself out there. So why the hell would you want to do something like that?
Well, I've always wanted to do music. Like, I've always loved music. I've always, in particular, loved sad music because it's so emotional. And I feel like music is the one thing that no matter what language, like no matter what, it connects people. It's like just the easiest way to connect with anyone through music, whether there's words or not. And I just think like my one purpose in this life is to connect with people, and music just makes sense. It just makes sense. Like, I can reach more people by making music that people relate to than if I was just going around chatting, you know?
Have you felt that already? That with the music you've released, you've reached a lot of people?
Definitely. Especially with my like background and upbringing, which is a little interesting. I feel like I've touched a lot of people, just help them feel like they've got a voice that's worth hearing, and that if they want to change their lives or their circumstances, they're able to. Like, no matter how many people I'd like affect, I just think it's amazing that even one person is like, Joey, you've helped me. You've given me confidence. Like, I love watching you do what you do with authenticity because it makes me feel what I'm doing is valid. So that's just like, it's just the best thing. It's my favorite thing. Seeing other people do what they love doing. And if I can help that, bruh, you know, mission accomplished.
How did you feel when you got your first like person saying, hey, Joey, like this genuinely changed the way I feel?
Honestly, I felt like really, really validated for once in my life. I felt like someone saw me and thought that I was valid, like what my voice was worth listening to, which is pretty phenomenal. It was kind of mixed. Like, I felt kind of like sad for like my younger self because I was like, damn, she's like finally being heard. And then also excited just in the fact that, wow, like I can help people. Like, this is a reality. Like, I'm going to make a difference. I'm making a difference. So, yeah.
It's interesting though, because I think lots of people when they're young, they don't feel validated. I think and it's kind of sad to accept in a weird way that.
Yeah, like definitely.
Yeah, what you potentially went through, a lot of people went through and probably still going through. Like, that's what is really weird about this.
Yeah. It's true. I feel like people just feel lonely. Like, people are so lonely, especially at the moment. I've never experienced such mass loneliness before. Like, everyone kind of seems like they're doing okay, and then you sit down and you have a conversation with them, and 9 times out of 10 it will be like, yeah, I've just been feeling really lonely at the moment. It's mind-blowing to me.
Why do you think that is? Like, because I would think that out of any generation of people, you know, us being, I mean, we're able to do this, right? Like, you're in a different city to where I am, and we can do pretty seamlessly in terms of setting it up and having a conversation. So it's weird that there are so many people who feel that way. So I'm interested on why you think that is.
I think because people are so seen these days, like visually online. they feel the pressure to be something like a certain way a lot of the time. So they get stressed about how they're being presented. So then they change how they're presenting themselves. And then it's not authentic to them and they're not being them anymore. And then they feel like people that are connecting with them are not connecting with a genuine version of themselves. And then they're like, no one even knows who I am. And then they feel really lonely because they just feel like no one understands them and no one knows who they are.
How have you overcome that?
Honestly, just by being as honest as I can, like with how I'm feeling, and like to my detriment, I have always been quite an honest, upfront person. Like, I mean, detriment, like good and bad, but I feel like I've learned tact a little bit more now, but like in my younger years, like I definitely wasn't as tactful as I could have been. There's honesty and then there's, just being kind of rude, I think. It was always like meant in a good way, but sometimes you can say things in a gentler way, I think is maybe the term. But yeah, I've always been just very like honest with how I'm feeling in the moment, which helps a lot because I'll just usually express how I'm feeling at the time, or you can see it on my face a lot of the time, even if I'm not saying it out loud. And yeah, I think that's mainly, I just try and like live in a tune with what feels right with my gut, and it's always right, unfortunately.
Yeah, I have said that a lot. I actually had this conversation with my brother probably a couple months ago, and I was like, I hate it where like my gut is telling me something and my mind is trying to be like, no, don't be dumb. Just like don't trust your gut instinct. And then because you're trying to see the best in the situation or the best in people. And then all of a sudden the truth comes out and you're like, the fucking gut was right. Again, it sucks. It's so annoying.
No, literally every time. And then you kind of get mad at yourself. You're like, why didn't I trust it? Like, why didn't I just trust myself again? But I think it comes with wanting to see the best in people. And you'll like see someone displaying a trait and you're like, oh, they're just trying to do this, even though your gut's like, oh, this is not good. But you're like, no, they're doing their best. They're doing their best. And then like 3 months later, you're like, damn, I was right. Yeah. We soldier on. Yeah,
I think it's really evident in like dating. Like you're like, something's up. And you're like, but I don't want to know about it for whatever reason, even though it's better to know earlier. You're like,
it really is.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. My dating history, not the most successful story.
Well, I mean, you opened the door for your dating history. So, I'm going to walk through it.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, talk to me. So I'll let you describe it. When you say it's not the most successful, what does that mean?
Well, yes and no. I'm actually really grateful for all the relationships I've had, because I mean, if they weren't what they were, like, what would I be writing about? No one wants to hear songs that are just like, yeah, I'm so in love and my life is perfect. No one wants to hear that. I don't know anyone that wants to hear that. I don't want to hear that. I want to be like, yeah, this is traumatic. I love this. This is so relatable.
Oh, we're seeing the darkness. It's like, oh, we need the pain and the suffering.
Oh, honestly, I think that's where everything lies. But yes, my dating history. Well, I mean, I've actually been married, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If we dial it back.
Yeah, I can't spell marriage. So like I'm very far away from that. So
same. I like sometimes I think about it and I'm like, was that even me? Was that just like, I just make that up? Like that's not true. I wasn't married. That's ridiculous. That's crazy. I got married at 19 actually, which is fucked when you think about it. So I got married at 19 and divorced by 21. So, and then just had, other relationships since then. But yeah, that was probably, it's kind of a big deal, I think. I don't know. It was a long time ago now. I'm just, like I said, it feels like a different life. Like I kind of look at it from the outside now and I'm like, Oh yeah, just like kind of like a movie. Wasn't even really me. It's just
Yeah.
like I'm just watching it
It's like a
unfold.
dream.
Yeah, like a dream. Yeah,
Yeah.
a nightmare, really.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a dream. But yeah.
Yeah. How long did it take you to, or are you still recovering? I mean,
No.
like, how
Get
long
married?
did it, well, from, I think, and this is obviously me just projecting, but I think something like that would takes an emotional toll. The highs and the lows are
Mm,
so extreme and within a short period of time. Like, you're still forming as a person, like you're
yeah,
19, and
yeah,
then to have it end at 21 and it wasn't going well. And then how do you recover after that? I think a lot of people would probably
yeah.
look at maybe not those exact circumstances, but find some similarity between young love and then seeing a breakdown, the truth and the reality of what they're actually in, and then struggling to know, well, how the fuck do I move on from this? Like, this is pretty impactful.
Yeah, definitely. Um, well, when I stepped out of the marriage, I actually stepped out of an extreme religion as well. So I kind of like stepped out of the two at the same time. Um, so I feel like to me, the marriage was almost like second. Like
Mm.
the religion had more like control over me than the marriage did. Um, so I feel I don't, when I was in the marriage, I wasn't really uh in love, I would say, now that I've experienced love since. So to move on from the marriage wasn't really, it's gonna sound really brutal, isn't it? Wasn't really wasn't really that hard to move on from the marriage because I wasn't in love. It was all the other things that came with it, like I guess uh finding myself as a human being that wasn't like attached to someone else, my own identity, and like knowing what I wanted to do and what I didn't want to do, and just even understanding how like the regular world works, which is crazy. Um, yeah, that has taken a massive toll, and I honestly think it wouldn't have been until the past like 1 or 2 years that I really feel like I've stepped into my own. Like it's been a real journey.
Well, I don't think that's brutal. I think it's just,
No.
no, I think it's fair. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, as you said,
Yeah.
you're living like your truth, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, if you weren't in love, that's like, I think we've all been in relationships where we're like, oh, not in love, but you're there, and it's like this weird place where you're like, I care about you enough, but I know this isn't right. Like, I subconsciously and deep down know that there's something off.
Yeah. And I think just because of how authentically I live now, it feels brutal for me to say that because I would just never live like that now. I would never be with someone that I wasn't fully invested in. I wouldn't like I could just never do that now. Um so it just feels crazy to me to think back to then when I was living a lie basically. I just wasn't me at all. Like just yeah, I wasn't even really a formed person. Partly because I was a baby. I was like 19.
Yeah.
But like yeah, I think that's why it feels brutal because I just would never do that to someone else now. Being with someone, not being in love with them is to me one of the worst things you could ever do because love and connection and partnership is just whether it's platonic or not, still loves, right? I think it's the most sacred thing. Relationships are sacred. And I would never want to be friends or be in love or be with someone that I didn't genuinely love or care about. So,
With that higher threshold on your relationships, does it make it harder for people to enter your life?
uh, yeah, I would say so. I'm very friendly.
Yeah, I'm getting that
Like
experience immediately.
I'm very friendly. So like I love meeting new people and I love experiencing new relationships and new connections. So fun. I love it. I'm a little little sesh gremlin. I go out and having a great time, chatting it up with everyone. But like, I think as far as letting people really in, very, very hard. My circle, as the years go on, gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And honestly, I think it's because my drive for music has grown more and more and more serious, and I'm so much more focused on it now, that I've known for the past 2 years that I'm going somewhere with music. Like, I know where I'm going and what I'm doing, and I only can have people in my life that are going to support me, or like, we're going to be able to benefit each other. We're going to be able to support each other. We're going in a similar direction. We've got the same values and goals and morals, because I'm like, how can I be a really successful person without successful, loving people that like mirror my energy around me? And naturally, your circle just gets smaller and smaller, because how can you maintain such a high level of friendship and commitment to like, heaps of people? You can have like lots of acquaintances and friends, but as far as like really strong relationships, my emotional capacity for that, because I give a lot, isn't that, like, I can't have that many anymore, which is good, to be honest, because then the friendships I have are amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, there's a quote that I love, and it's, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. And I think it really makes sense. Like,
That's
as
cool.
you said.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, I think it rings true. And at the end of the day, I think everyone knows if their friends are good for them or not. And that I think that's the hardest truth to accept, is like, I keep people around me that don't add value. And then, my biggest fear personally is like, I don't want to die with regret. Like, I don't want to die being like, I had so much potential and I wasted it. That to me would be the worst scenario, being old and being filled with regret. That would like,
oh my God,
break me.
Yeah. And to be honest, that will never happen to you, because you're already so aware.
Well, so, I hope so.
You'll be okay. That won't happen to you. It's almost impossible. But like, once you've reached that point of like understanding of what you want in life, like, you're just like, no, I just want to live authentically, and I want to do whatever I want to do without regret. Like, you'll be fine. I have faith.
Thanks, Joey. Jeez, I'm feeling so much better now. I'm like, I will be okay.
Yeah, no, you will. I feel like just acknowledging that is so important. Like, you don't have to know where you're going, but you just have to, if you know what you want. Well, no, actually, if you know how you want to feel, I think that's how you can really drive your life. Because if you're like, oh, I know how I want to feel, I'm like, I enter this situation, I'm like, how do I feel? Does this align with how I want to feel? Yes, I'll keep doing it. If it doesn't, no. So you don't even need to know exactly where you're going. It's like so much less stress. You're just like going on how you feel.
Yeah. I mean, it's that weird question of like, where do you want to be in 5 years? I've always had a very similar answer of like, I don't know really where I want to be, but I'll know as I go where I'm supposed to be. Like, I think it's weird to have, not weird, but I feel like it's when you have too much of a plan, you don't see the doors that open beside you because you're too focused on the one. So I've always been someone that's like, it depends which door opens, I guess. And that will be the one I walk through, as opposed to the closed one.
Definitely. I think, I'm sorry.
No, I was just like finding, and I think I was like, okay, I think, that's it. That's my thought.
I completely agree. I think everyone has free choice, obviously, ultimately. And the universe will provide whatever you want, but it's still up to you to choose it. Like, when I hate it when people will see others and they're like, how does this come to you? And how do you get this? And how do you do that? Everything's so hard for me. It's like, it's not that it's not hard. It's just you're willing to put yourself out there. You're willing to go through a new door and try something hard. Like, you're willing to try. I think. And you fail a lot of the time when you're trying, which people don't see. They only see, when you're doing well and they're like, oh, you just got that given to you, didn't you? And it's like, no, bro, like I've been working on this for 8 years. You just haven't seen it. Yeah, that definitely frustrates me a lot, actually. It's like people just are so quick to see you when you're doing well, and they're like, oh, must have been easy for you. It's like, no, you don't see the struggle that
Yep.
go
It was really easy.
Yes.
Yep. It's easy for me.
Yeah.
It's easy for everyone, and it's only hard for you. That's like
only you.
that's that's the way I react these days. It's like, yeah, it was super easy. Took no effort whatsoever. I am gifted, and you, my friend, are not.
Yeah, I'm super talented. Just came out of the womb and was like, yep, I'm a singer. What's up?
Yeah. I didn't have to practice at all. I got everything I wanted immediately, and no pain, no suffering. I didn't have to practice. I just was good all the time. And I think that's the only way to react, because it shows them how dumb they're being, of like, it's not possible. Yeah. Or when like my friends are like, oh, I'm so ugly. I'm like, yeah, you're hideous. No one's interested in you. You're disgusting. And then they realize like, no, you're just being an idiot. And you're just like, because if you fight them, they're going to dig deeper into their point of view. Whereas if you agree to a stupid extent, they're like, oh no, I'm being dumb. That's what I need in my life, when people are like, no. Yeah, you're right, Aaron. You're just an idiot.
That's so rough. Actually, if I was having a really bad day and I was like, I'm so ugly, and someone said that to me, I'd be like, damn, okay.
Well, someone you trust, not a random. Hopefully you trust them. Yeah.
Yeah, me just like at work making a coffee for someone, and then I'm just like, damn, I'm ugly. They're like, sure are, babe. See you. Thanks for the flat white. I'll be like, okay.
Well, it's like you choose your hard. That's what I think. You choose your hard. It's like,
you really do.
It's either hard now or it's hard later, and like whatever it is.
Like when people say, it's so hard to make change, but I'm like, it's harder to sit with regret, like you were saying. It's way harder to sit with that, I think, personally. And like the like unhappiness that comes with that is way harder to bear than like doing something and not being successful at it first try.
Well, it's never going to be successful the first try.
No, that is very true. I would agree. But you can get better though.
Yeah.
It's like literally the one thing I tell myself every time I'm about to do something scary. Like even when I dropped my first song, I was like, oh, what if the people hate it? I'm like, well, can't get any worse. So fuck it, we ball, literally. So yeah, you can't get any worse, I think, if you keep trying. So.
And the surprising thing is, no one gives a fuck.
Oh, literally. They really don't, which is bittersweet.
Yeah. Because you think that the world is going to crumble around you when people find out. But that's not true, because everyone's like too busy worrying about their own shit to really give a shit about your shit. So it's like, I don't know. I felt the same way when I first released this. I was like, oh, what are people going to say? Like, especially white Aussie guy talking about hip hop. Like, how am I ever going to, and I don't rap. I don't make my own music. I'm just someone who likes to listen to it. So I always had that in the back of my mind, the insecurity of like, hey, do I even belong in this space of being able to talk about it and being able to talk to people about it? That was always there. And I've learned that as long as the people want to talk to me, that's all that really matters.
Yeah. And also I think you belong more than most if you're not an artist, because you don't have the potential ego that comes with it. So you're like really listening to things from just like a point of listening and wanting to understand, which is the best point of view and the best like approach you could have to like something like this, I think.
Oh yeah, I am totally ignorant on the process, on what it takes. Obviously, over time, I've learned things. Like you would hope that I've learned things, but for sure, just, there's things where I'm like, I never thought about that. I never thought that was a thing.
A relief, because I was like, I'm going on this hip hop podcast, and like my music is very heavily influenced by hip hop. All my like closest friends that are artists, like they all do hip hop, but my music isn't like, you know, hip hop. And I was like, fuck, what's he going to ask me? Like, he's going to ask me all these like deep questions about like, who's your favorite hip hop artist? And can you like name the first hip hop artist from, I don't know, the 1800s? And I'll be like, no, I don't know. Do I belong here? I don't know. I barely rap.
Yeah, that would be good. I invite you on and then I quiz you on hip hop knowledge. That would
Yeah,
really
like
make you want to come back. Yeah, like, nope, wrong. All right, you're getting kicked off this show. It was only lasting 10 minutes, didn't pass
So
the bar.
dramatic.
Yeah.
Like that show Wipeout, you know, where they're just like,
yeah,
just like, that's me. Just like, oh, I've been like 10 seconds. You're like, you know what? You just don't know how what it's got, girly. See ya. I'm like, fair enough.
Yeah, this might surprise you, but I don't want any of my guests to feel uncomfortable. So
oh, that's not surprising at all. I felt comfortable from the first second I stepped on this podcast.
Yeah, thank you. It would be, people have asked me before, like, do you try and get your guests, like as in trick them? I'm like, why the fuck would I do that? Seriously, I want them to want to come back and to be like, hey, that was good, as opposed to maybe other interviews I've done that are not so good. Like, I don't know. People remember how you made them feel, as opposed to oh, great, I got one piece of content at the expense of the person I'm talking to. Yeah, I would feel so bad for doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is so true. People remember how you make them feel, and that goes for music as well. That's what people remember, like time and time again. So, oh, I love that. I feel like this is the best space for my first interview.
Yeah,
it's like in alignment. It's so in alignment with like who I am. It feels amazing. So, thank you, universe.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for saying yes.
Yeah, true.
Can I ask you, when it comes to sad music, you said that you like sad music.
Yeah.
What is it about that type of music that draws you in? Like, what is it that attracts you to it?
Well, I am really lyric driven. And I just think sad music is usually just like a lot of lyrics in it, which is why I also do like hip hop. There's like usually just so many like powerful lyrics in there. And I think when music tells a story, that's when you really connect with the song. And that's when, like we said before, it, makes you feel something, and you remember how that song made you feel, and you'll go back to that song time and time and time again. Like you bond with this song. And that's what I've done with sad music. And I just think that's amazing that you can create something for someone else to like help them heal an emotion or feel not alone. Like I was saying earlier in the show, like not feeling lonely, even if it is just for those like 3.5 minutes of the song. If you feel emotionally supported when you're listening to a sad song, that's some powerful shit. And that's why I love it. And that's why I want to create similar music. It doesn't always have to be sad, but emotional, like very strong, emotion driven music. It's just powerful. Just people feel it. And if you're being genuine and authentic, like people can feel it and they know it and they want to listen. So I think that's just, I love it.
Does that
sad music make me happy?
Yeah. Well, that should go on a t-shirt.
You think?
For sure. Sad music makes me happy.
Yeah.
I love that. That's like the easiest phrase ever. I feel like many people will get that shirt. That's like Joey Pappas on your show. That's your merch.
Sad music. Yeah. Well, it's actually funny when I made like it's called SoundCloud like account, I don't know, 5 years ago, my bio on there, which I didn't even look at until like recently when I re-downloaded it, because I'm like, I'm an artist now, I should probably re-download this app. I re-downloaded it and like logged into my account, and my bio was like, making you happy one sad song at a time. And I was like, Joey from 5 years ago, you knew it was up.
yeah, you knew yourself.
Yeah, I knew. Clearly, still making me happy by making sad songs.
So does that mean you have quite a bit of a catalog, or are you like starting fresh?
No, I have a lot of, I mean, No Pills, like my recent release. I wrote that, like mid-COVID yeah, like the start of COVID, I reckon. So what was that, 2019? 2019?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
so like a long time ago. And I've written so many since. I do have a big catalog, and now that I finally feel confident in sharing my voice, I'm like, people want to hear what I have to say. People like it. I'm like, let's go. I'm ready. I've got a lot to share, which I'm really excited about.
So does that mean you've got a release plan for this year, 2024? Can we tease anything like
um,
albums, maybe?
I don't think I'll be releasing my album this year. I definitely will be releasing an album, but I don't think it'll be this year. I think realistically, I reckon it'll be probably January-ish or like early next year. But I'll definitely be releasing more singles this year. I'm not going to do an EP, I don't think. I think I just want to like get like really solid on my sound and like how I'm developing as an artist. And you know, sort of like bank up songs and release a couple singles. Collaborate with some other artists, like yeah, just get better. And then once I feel really confident in how I want my album to be released to the world and like the exact story that I want to tell, that's when it will happen. And yeah, I reckon it'll be early next year, which is exciting.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you know, it's less than a year away. It's almost the end of Feb now. It's like,
True.
oh, shit.
Okay, March next year. Yeah. Yeah. I am excited, but it just depends on what happens for me musically. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll like play one show and then I'll magically earn millions of dollars and I'll just be able to spend my days in a studio making heaps of music.
That would be ideal, hopefully, because of this podcast. That would be even better.
I hope so.
Yeah, I know. One interview takes me over the top, and then all of a sudden, you and I are riding high sky with millions. That'll be.
I see it. I'm manifesting. I'll get my crystals after this. I'll manifest it for us, Aaron.
Yeah. Well, are you wearing any crystals, or do you have them in your room?
I actually am. Yeah. Been kind of wild actually. Since I got this necklace, shit's just been changing in my life, and I'm like, I don't know whether I should keep wearing this. It's dangerous. Yeah, I feel like things have just been like leaving my life, like left, right, and center, only to be replaced with better things, which I think is very important. Like when something leaves your life, it's just creating space for something so much better. But yeah, be wary of the necklaces you wear is my one warning, I think.
Well,
don't just get any crystal.
Well, I think, you know, welcome to my hoodoo spirituality. This year is like Chinese New Year, Year of the Dragon, and it's 2024, and 2 + 2 is 4, and 4 + 4 is 8. So it's like a karmic year. So like anything that you put in, you'll get out. So that's what I'm a big believer. But then again, I am a Chinese zodiac year of the dog. So it's 94, but it's my enemy year. So I have to be careful.
I won't be your enemy. Trust.
No. Well, it's the year of the dragon is just the enemy year. But I'm like, so they say that you have to be like, don't know, you have to just be careful, not take any huge risks. Like just like consolidate your position. And then next year, which is the year of the pig, apparently, is.
That's my year.
Oh, your year. So it should be a good year next year for you.
Pretty sure. I'm 95. So yeah, year of pig. Yeah. That's isn't like next year the 9th year, which means abundance. So like whatever we are working on this year, it's going to be successful next year.
Look at us who kind of know but don't know anything at all.
I know someone listening to this is going to be like, "What the fuck are they on about?" That is so wrong.
Yeah, it could be like,
Yeah. What is your star sign actually?
Well, would you guess? Do you have a vibe?
Oh, I don't like answering that question.
Well, okay, I'll tell you.
I can't say it on air.
All right, well, you got 1 out of 12 shot. So, no, I'll tell you. I'm a Capricorn.
Oh my God. Yes. Love that. No wonder you're so driven. It makes
Yeah.
so much
Some would say hard-headed and stubborn, but I like driven.
No, it's driven. You know what you want, even if you don't, like we said before, exactly know what it is. You're like, I've got to get there. And I think that's so funny that you're like, if I end my life and I feel like I haven't achieved what I wanted to achieve, that would be a disaster. Like,
Yeah.
that is literally on the gravestone of every single Capricorn that has ever existed in the world.
Yeah, it's
that.
really
You
annoying
are
because,
iconic.
yeah, well, apparently just with my birth charts, geez, I never
Mhm.
expected us to be here in terms of
I
these
did.
conversations.
I was like, how am I going to get this on astrology?
Well, we're here now. And I believe in yes and. So here we are. But apparently, I'm like a Capricorns. Like all my things are like Capricorn, like very
Oh
pure.
my God.
Yeah. Which
Oh my gosh. Are you doing okay? That must be,
I'm all
that
right.
must be, yeah. Capricorns are like notorious for just wanting to succeed and do like the best you possibly can in life. Yeah. So a lot of pressure on yourself, no doubt.
There is, but I'm learning that success is different. Like what I'm learning is that like your definition of success can be different than simply career success or monetary success. It can be success in like every other way. Health, relationships, of like your own mental health. They're all varying degrees of success. So my thing is just being the best person I can. That's what it is like, can I become the best person I can? Am I learning? Am I like developing? That's what it is more than anything else. Like I want to be, yeah, yeah. I realized a while ago, being smart is not what I want, but being wise is what I want. Like there is a difference between the two.
Huge difference. I love that. Damn, you're so full of good sayings. I'm gonna have to like listen to this and jot them all down again.
Yeah, well, feel free.
You are wise. You are very wise.
Well, I have my moments.
Look at you fulfilling your purpose. You're giving me all these wise sayings. Amazing.
Well, I just read people who are very, very wise, and I'm like, oh, that's good. I can learn from that quote, and I can learn from that quote, and all of a sudden, there's like thousands of years of our knowledge that, yeah.
Reading is important. I mean, having the concentration to read is hard.
Yeah, I just started doing it again, like actively. Yeah, it's difficult.
Yep, it is, because you're just like, you're reading and then you're thinking about something else. You're like, fucking hell, I've read this same line like 4 times. Sometimes it's like, no, I need to persevere. Like, this is meant to be good for my sleep, you know? Never mind the 8 coffees I've had today. This, this one chapter of this book is going to heal all of that and I'm going to sleep really well.
It might. Well, it depends what you read.
Yeah, true. True. Yeah.
I have heard
murder mysteries, to be honest.
That's an interesting choice before bed.
Yeah. Like Agatha Christie. Oh, stop it. Love an Agatha Christie. It's so good. Like, really, I don't know how she comes up with that stuff. Crazy.
You know what I have been contemplating recently is like erotic novels.
Oh, yeah.
Because they are huge. And welcome to, I've spoken to women before. This is not my first conversation with a woman. They have said to me.
Really?
That, yeah, I know. Surprising, right? They have said that erotic novels are like huge in the world of women. For men, that's not a thing. I've never heard of a man say, I've read a spicy novel. I've never heard that ever. And so I'm like, maybe it's an avenue I should explore.
Yeah, you're like, I need to be wise. So I need to be doing what these other men aren't doing. You on a first date, you're like, but did you know I read erotic novels? I'm not like your average man.
If that's not a red flag, I don't know what the fuck is a red flag. Because if I'm bringing up that, I'm like, well, I am filthy and gross, but intelligent.
No, I'd just be like, that's very interesting of you. Thank you for letting me know over spaghetti. Love that.
Yeah. It'll make you feel weird. I'm like slurping it because you're like,
true. Yeah. Oh my god, true.
Yeah.
Wow. I haven't really read any erotic novels, to be honest. No.
Anyone listening, let us know what is your favorite erotic novel. Jump into the
Don't
DMs.
say 50 Shades, please. Please, just like something else. Something else.
Yeah.
We'll read it. We'll both read it.
We'll come back and we'll do a podcast on it. Yeah.
Yeah. And we get like 75 books and we come back and we're like, we are emotionally dead. That was too much, guys.
We don't have to read all of them. We just have to choose one.
Choose one. Okay.
Yeah. I like that you're like, I have to listen to every single person's DM immediately. That's my commitment.
Literally. Because what if I don't like read one of them and it was the best suggestion ever, you know?
Well, then we have an erotic novel podcast all of a sudden.
True.
You and I.
Let's just end this one with, we're going to do it now. That's our new direction in life. I'm not a singer anymore. I review sex novels. That's it.
I just say, I reckon that would be a lot of fun.
Actually, it would be so fun. Loki, like, let's talk about this after.
Yeah. We're coming in with the new idea. The Hip Hop Hustle is changing directions. So like, we'll find a name for us.
Yeah. We'll think about it. It'll be good.
Do you know what I did see of yours on Instagram?
Yes.
You posted a photo of you wearing a t-shirt of you on it.
Oh,
and you were like, I don't remember exactly, but you were like, is it weird that I have a photo of myself on my own t-shirt? And as someone who clearly has the exact same thing, it's not weird at all.
True. That's so funny. Oh my God. I should have worn my shirt. That would have been so funny. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Next time.
Yeah. Next time you have to.
Yeah. Honestly, I ordered, like for my first release, I made merch, which I drew actually. People, please buy them. I need to pay my mum back. And then for like this second release, I was like, oh no, I'm not going to make more shirts. I'm just going to I'm not going to do merch. But then I had some like ad come up on Instagram, which was like, you can do like, one-off designs. And I was like, okay, you got me. And so so I like ordered 2 shirts for myself and I was like, is this weird? And then I was like, no, honestly, I support myself 100%. I love this for me. And I was like, because my song came out on Valentine's Day and I'm single, I was like, that is possibly the most iconic thing I could ever do. Like just release a song about, and me feeling, unloved, and like it's partly about like an old breakup as well from like quite a few years ago. And then like wearing a shirt of myself on it, I'm like, damn, I wonder why I'm single. Oh, so confusing.
Well, I actually think it's because you didn't love yourself enough.
Back then, absolutely, I would agree with that. Now, I mean, this sort of kind of iconic, and for every single I release, I'm like, I'm just gonna make a shirt now. This has just become a thing.
Yeah.
Because then I'll be old. I'll be like, old, and I'll be like, damn, I'm so glad I got all these T-shirts of me when I was younger. This one of me on Valentine's Day, iconic.
I would love for you to be like, I remember how single and alone I was with that T-shirt. And I remember I thought I was in love, but I wasn't with that T-shirt. And then I had this and that one. I was broken because of this bullshit. Like I would love it would be like a whole story of your life in T-shirt form.
That's actually crazy. Oh my God. It's already, oh no, I think I've started a curse. Because like when I released my first song, I was in a relationship and that like ended like literally 2 weeks after that song was released. So that T-shirt is like kind of associated with that breakup. This single I released, even though the breakup was like fucking 3 years ago, this T-shirt's kind of is related to that year. Oh my God, I am Taylor Swift, but the T-shirt version. Oh,
it's not bad branding. I mean, she's in Australia. Might as well like, hop on the bandwagon and just piggyback a little bit off T Swift.
Yeah, she's iconic. I think like her lyrics are wild. Like regardless of whether you like her music or not, she is so talented. It's insane. Like how she can tell a story is just, it's amazing. Even if you don't like her music, you can't deny like that woman is clever.
Yeah. I low-key think the Super Bowl was rigged because of her.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Welcome to conspiracy chat.
Rigged. Honestly, everything is rigged. I've got like one conspiracy theory friend and he just knows everything about everything. We should have got him on here. He would have been like, "Yep, can confirm." It was like,
Yeah, I think that's for our third podcast, which is conspiracy chat.
We've got so much to do,
So
and you know
much.
what? Like, I'm a Capricorn moon, so I think this is why we just like we need to do as much as we possibly can. We need to be successful in every avenue.
Yeah,
Oh my
because
God.
that's
Just
what
like
you need.
started
You
3
need
businesses.
more. Yeah. Also, really high chance of succeeding podcasts because we all know every podcast succeeds. So, but
Well,
we could
yours
start a
is.
conglomerate. We'll start a conglomerate. It'll be like a network, and then all of a sudden,
We sound so suspicious.
I think that's your insecurity talking. I don't feel suspicious at all.
You don't?
I feel no.
Yeah. It is like a network of podcasts. It just sounds suspicious.
Oh, well,
No.
now you say it like that makes me
Yeah.
suspicious.
Maybe it's the tone.
It's
We'll
all
start
tone.
a network of podcasts.
I more meant like a network, like a TV studio,
Yes.
a podcast.
Oh, and that
studio.
kind of network.
Yeah,
Me thinking in like a web of
yeah.
of
No, you went
podcasts.
conspiracy for sure.
Yeah, I really did. Yeah. It's the murder mystery novels coming out again. Sorry, my bad.
How do people react when they see your face on your t-shirt? Like, do they double take? Are they like, wait, hold on, is that you?
I honestly don't think anyone noticed, eh? I'm pretty short. Like, I'm very short. So people are usually just looking at the top of my head most of the time. So I don't think a lot of people noticed that it was that I had it on my t-shirt. And I wasn't like going around being like, what's that? Look at my shirt. So, and I was pretty drunk that night actually, because I mean, it was my release night. So, yeah.
What do you mean you don't wear your t-shirt with your face on it all the time? I literally wear this all the time.
No, I
Like
was
I
really gonna wear
walk
it
down the
today.
street. I walk down the street with it. I go to the gym in it, and people are like, "Hold on, is that you?" And I'm like, "Don't you have a photo of like a t-shirt with your face on it? Is it weird?
Weird.
Is it weird that I have?"
Embarrassing.
Now I'm always like, "Wait, is this not normal?"
Yeah.
And yeah, it's fun to like make them double guess themselves. They're like,
To
"No,
be
I
fair-
don't."
To be fair, yours isn't exactly like a picture of you necessarily. Like it's more of like an animated version.
Mhm.
Mine's like a full photo. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just like a printed photo on the front. There's no fucking around. It's not like, you know, like, oh, could be you, might not be you. That's definitely me on mine. It's just like a photo. So I feel like yours is a little bit less in your face, literally.
I guess,
Yeah.
but when you see it, you kind of can't unsee it.
Oh yeah, literally the beard. It's
The beard. It's like
I think it's so
perfectly
iconic.
who did it. Yeah.
I feel so validated right now that
Yeah, good.
oh my God, I wish I wore mine. I nearly did, and I was like, is that too self-centered of me? I should have fucking worn it. Damn it.
Yeah, you definitely overthought that. It's because
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
because you're going on a show to talk about you and your music. It would like yeah, I think that goes out the window. Once you're on a show where you talk about yourself, I think is it too self-centered? Everyone does. You gotta rep your own merch. You got to.
True, clearly. I mean, all right, next time. That's all I'll wear. I'll wear it straight for a week. Just me, a week. Day 7, guys, are wearing me.
Yeah, that content
Yeah, maybe. Don't add it to the list.
of stuff you can do.
Yeah, stuff I can do to promote myself. Just wear myself on a shirt. You know, it is a dope shirt actually, because I got 2 different designs. But the thing is, I have this feeling that if I start wearing it, people are gonna be like, "Can I order one?" And I'm like, I didn't even make any merch for people. I just made it for me. That'd be so typical. Hey.
It's almost better that way.
Yeah, it's true. I'd be like, maybe premium prices, baby.
Well, you could have like special releases, 50 only, ones that I wear, and then like a regular release of like
True, or like a prize pack, maybe. Write a verse for me, and then I'll give you this shirt that I definitely.
It
have
is
never
way
worn
too
myself.
early for you to ask for other people to write your verses.
Yeah, I know that's so true. I'm thinking 5 years ahead. Okay, you know I'm a planner. I've been planning this for years since I was 6.
So how do you actually not mind when other people write verses for people?
Yeah, no, I don't mind that. I think a lot of music whether you know it or not, is collaborated with someone else. Like they've co-written it with someone else a lot of the time. Even if it's just like they write it themselves and they take it to like someone else. They're like, yo, what do they think about this? And then like someone will have like a slight input on like one part of the melody or like one of the verses or lines. I think music is collaborated on way more than people realize. They'll hear the song and they'll be like, oh, this was done just by this artist. And then if you like look in the credits of it, it's like, you know, 5 other people are like credited in it. So yeah, that's something that I've only kind of just realized in the past. Probably like past year. I'm like, damn, like people aren't doing this all on their own. Like, which has honestly held me back for years because I was like, oh no, like I don't know how to do all of this. Like they're all just doing all of this on their own. And then like once I opened up that I wanted to do, you know, that I was really serious about this, I was like, oh no, this is actually a team of people to get this done, which is pretty amazing and quite a big lesson to learn. Like you just don't have to be thugging it out on your own all the time. You know, like support is necessary. So I think it's pretty cool. That's been like a really nice thing to learn, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I go through the back and forth as just like a fan of like, how do I feel about that? Because what I want is good music. Yeah. And so if it requires a team, I'm like, that makes sense because, you know, more minds, more vision equals you can probably collaborate and make a better sound. But then I'm also like, but it's also kind of a little bit like my dream is shattered because I had this image of who this person is. And that, and maybe that is specifically to hip hop. I think that is definitely a part of it, of like, you can't claim to be the best rapper ever if you don't write your own rhymes. To me, that you automatically disqualify yourself out. So if someone else is writing your rhymes, well, then you can't claim to be the best. You can be the best artist, but you cannot be in a top 5 because you didn't write your own shit. And honestly, if you write your own shit, then you can be.
If you're claiming you're the best, I mean, really, like that you just feel like you can't claim that shit. The best is so subjective. Like, because someone else might connect with another song better, or they like how that sounds better. Yes, you just can't say that you're the best rapper ever, unless you're Kanye, and go off, King. But like,
I have had many people who say they're very good, that they're
I know,
like, amazing.
I have seen that a bit, and I'm like, damn, I'm like low-key impressed that they say that, but then I'm also like, but that can never be fully fact-checked. It can never be something that's fully proven. I think it just, if they think that they are, then that's all that really matters, I guess.
I think it comes with the genre. It just comes, it's part of it. It's like, if you don't think you're the best, then how will anybody else? There's something about the braggadocious, the like being able to back yourself, the be like, I'm not to be fucked with attitude that is part of it. I think it's uniquely hip hop. That is that like mentality.
I would agree. I would very much agree, which has been interesting to say the least as a female coming into like this genre. Just because even my rap, like, which I haven't released any of my songs which I rap on yet, it's like very melodic and it's like a bit, you know, it's like not as like hardcore, I guess you could say. But it's still definitely rap. And it's just interesting to come into it and like see everyone competing, I guess. And I'm like, oh, I just kind of like the way this sounds. This sounds great. Like, I'm not out here to like compete like my rhymes or, you know, with anyone else, because I'm like, well, that's just not very, to me, that's not the point of making music for me personally. So I hope that doesn't ever become an attitude of mine, which I don't think it will, because that would just like go against everything I believe in. But
unless someone releases a diss track.
Oh, true.
Then you might have to snap back.
Oh my God, that would be so much fun. Not gonna lie. Someone diss me. No.
Don't put it out there. You might get it.
Imagine being like so bothersome to someone that they have to make all the effort to like write a track about you and diss you. Like, I'm like, thanks. Thanks for thinking of me. That's so nice. Like, I'll take that as a compliment that I've been on someone's mind that much that they need to write a song about me. I'm like, finally, someone loves me, want to
Yeah.
date, bit cute.
Well, they say hate and love are very close to one another. They're like
Oh
two sides
yeah,
of the same coin.
yeah, no, I'd be like, you in love with me? I think you are.
Yeah, I think that would be your like diss track. Is like, I think you might be in love with me. You just like
Yes.
can't
Oh
you
my
can't
God.
express it. You're still a child. Like you just haven't
Yes.
expressed it fully.
So true. Honestly, it's probably a better way to approach it as well. If someone's like, yeah, not, yeah, if someone's dissing me, I'm like, you just love me. Thanks, babe.
Yeah. How you
Appreciate it.
mentioned that it's interesting being a female in the space. Can you elaborate a
Definitely.
little bit more on that of like what you've noticed and how it makes you feel, or like where you feel you're in the space?
Yeah, I think it, I've always, like I said before, I've always been very like lyric driven. And that's why I really like rap because you can just get so many words out quickly. Um, and so I've always been really drawn to it. But then I was like, oh, I can't do it. Like I can't rap. I like that's just like scary as like these men just like jumping around, spitting bars. And I'm like, that's terrifying. Um, and I haven't seen any other females really do it. I don't I don't think I've been to any show yet, even like smaller gigs. I mean, not like big festivals and stuff like that, like smaller ones, just like out and about. I don't meet other female rappers, which is like kind of sad. I'm like, where are you all? Hit me up if anyone's listening and you rap. Like, hit me up, please. Um, but it feels like I said a little bit lonely because I'm like, oh, all these like I would say people with fairly like decent sized egos because they're all like, I'm the best rapper ever. And I'm like, well, I don't think that about myself, but I definitely enjoy doing it. I'm like, do I need to think I'm that good to be a part of this crowd? Do I need to think I'm the best to be a part of this group? Because I definitely don't think I am. And it's just like this, often it's a lot of like people kind of just trying to one up each other all the time. And how I go into things is like a collaborative approach. I'm like, yeah, we could make something amazing together. I don't want to verse you. I don't want to like compete with you. I'm like, I really like your sound and I like your like direction and how you express things. I'm like, I would like to do something with you or learn from you or like, yeah, like just get to know you as opposed to like, all right, you're now my competition. And I think a lot of people in hip hop aren't used to that approach. So they're like, not really giving the time of day because I think I'm like another competition or something like that. Or because I haven't even released any rap yet, they don't think I'm worth the time at all because I'm not competition. Like it's kind of hard. It feels like, yeah, like I am not seen a lot of the time, which is, I mean, totally fair because I'm fucking brand new and haven't dropped any rap yet. So just wait, I guess. Just give me a month.
The fire on the mic. That's what it is.
Yeah. Nah, honestly, my my track that I've done is like so melodic. It's like easy listening. I'm not dissing anyone. Fuck. I'm doing it all wrong. Nah.
You're not. You're not doing it all wrong. You're being you. I think that's more important than like sticking to the crowd. And I think anyone who knows hip hop will say that, like, yeah, this common saying is it's a sport. That is the headspace of anyone who gets into it. It is a sport. And like, as a fan, whenever two people are on it, the natural instinct is who had the better verse, who won the track. That's like that's almost the mentality. That's why the top 5 lists exist. That's why the ratings exist. It's all of the above. That's why the brackets, there are so many YouTube channels of people literally ranking rappers of like who's in this genre and that genre and like who comes out on top, who's the best. Like these are all things that exist within that. And I mean, I don't know of the same thing in other genres. I'm not aware of it. Maybe that does exist, but I haven't heard of like DJs being like, who's the best DJ from the East? Who's the best DJ from the West? Like who's in this bracket?
Like beat battles, like people making beats and battling out on that. but I guess that's also usually hip hop genre.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, that is very true. Which I mean, which is why I'm not just hip hop. I'm definitely a blend of what does that make me like? Pop, hop? I don't know.
I think it's just you. I think it's just you're just Joey Pappas. I think that's it. That's all you got to own. You don't have to own anything
I
else.
like that.
I think it's easier to be like, hey, I make my own music. You can put it in any kind of box that you want, but I'm just
Yeah.
doing me. Rather than I think the other way around, which is people choose the genre first.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're boxed in. And I think the
Mm.
box actually holds you back. Whereas if you look
Yeah,
at all the best artists, they kind of just make their music and then no one really knows where they sit. I think Prince is a perfect example of no one really knew where he goes. The Weeknd changes his sound
SZA.
all the time. SZA, they all just change their sound on a regular basis. So yeah, I think there's more power to that. Like you empower yourself.
Yeah, definitely. And it also just shows that like they're not afraid to try something new. Yeah, even I mean, going back to Taylor Swift, like she was a country artist and then she like goes into pop. Like to continue to be like relevant and to stay true to who you are, you're gonna change. You have to change because you literally change all the time because you're getting older and your experiences are just molding you into someone different. So I feel like, yeah, you just stay in one tiny little box. It's just eventually just you're not gonna fit.
Well, also you're gonna get bored as fuck.
Bored. Yeah, and then that'll just reflect so much in your work. Like if you don't feel passionate about it, if you're bored with what you're seeing, like, ugh, as if anyone else is gonna want to listen to that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to name anyone, but there are like definitely people that you're like, oh, man, you're just releasing a project because it's time to release a project. And it's like, you just want to go on tour again, but you haven't challenged yourself. The beats are similar. The flow is similar. The song is similar. And I've heard this 1,000 times and I'm no longer impressed because I'm just going to listen to the original stuff. Maybe they need a heartbreak or maybe they need some love. Some true love.
Oh, maybe they need some love. True. Yeah. And then a heartbreak.
Well, that's how you get 2 albums out of the same relationship.
True. Yeah. I'm ready. I'm ready.
What a cynical way to look at relationships. Like,
is it or is it realistic?
I hope it's not. I hope, Joey, that you don't need the breakups to make more content.
No, that's true. That's true. I don't think I've got many left in me, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't. Please. I'm actually really soft on the inside.
Well, yeah. Joey, it's been a pleasure. I mean, time flies when you're having fun. I hope you've had fun. But I only have one more question for you. And it's the only question that I plan on the show. It'll probably be the hardest question. I know, huge pressure. But if you had to recommend one album that everyone should listen to at least once to get an appreciation of, can be any genre of music, obviously cannot be your own music, what would it be?
It would be, let me just get the name of it.
This is the music quiz part of the show.
Yeah, this is gonna, I feel like this is gonna be a little left field, but it would be the 22 A Million album by Bon Iver.
Why that project?
I think it's an amazing album because I mean there is like words in all the songs, but like you can just feel what he's like singing about, even though like half the time it doesn't make like lyrical sense. And it's just like, it's so relaxing to listen to. And yeah, also just like the sounds he puts in the songs and like how he like produced it, and it's phenomenal. I love it. I go back to it time and time and time again.
That's awesome. I love that answer.
Great. I'm glad. That was unprepared, so I'm glad I had an answer to that. Damn. That was an easy answer too.
Yeah, you seemed like very chill under the pressure. That some people don't perform very well under that pressure. Some people like, I know it off the bat. and some people are like,
Yeah.
it takes them forever to choose. I'm lucky I've never answered that question because
Yeah, why don't you answer that?
it's my show and I make the rules on this show.
Oh, damn.
And on your show, you can make the rules on yours.
I'm going to make a podcast just so I can ask you that question.
Yeah, I'll be like, uh-oh.
One episode.
the pilot and only the pilot to get that out.
Yeah, the pilot. Yeah, and it'll just be like 30 seconds long because like it would just be one question. You're like, thanks for coming on the show. Bye.
Yeah. Well, now that I know, I'm going to wait until you release a few before I agree to come on.
Oh, yeah. Fuck. I really
Yeah,
just the show
you've-
prepared, didn't I? Damn
Yeah.
it. No, I would never do that to you. Absolutely not. Ignore that I said that.
Yeah. Can't read tone at all. At
No,
all.
no.
I believe you now.
No.
Yeah.
Yes, I am completely innocent.
Well, Joey, I don't believe that for a second, but for everyone, please make sure you show us some love. Joey Pappas, you can find her on Instagram. You can listen to her songs, as we said, No Pills and Insane. More music on the way, as we said, fellow Aussie. So you got to Aussie love, you got to support. And you're based in Adelaide, so I'm sure there's going to be some shows coming out in Adelaide, and hopefully you'll come down to Melbourne at some point and have some shows here.
I will be, and I think I'm going to be migrating to Queensland later in the year as well, permanently. So I'll be around. Thank you so much for having me on the show. It's been a pleasure. I'm glad we got to talk about astrology, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, now you know. Now the next podcast that you do or next interview has high bars to reach.
True.
Yeah.
True.
That's the plan, honestly, is to make the first interview as good as I can so that the next one pales in comparison. You'll be like, not as good.
Yeah, I'm going to start preparing now.
Yes. Well, Joey, is there anything else you wanted to shout out? Anything else you wanted to plug before we finish up?
No, just keep an eye on my socials because I will be doing a show, I think, in the next month or so, which will be really exciting. And it is a hip hop show, so that will be really exciting. And I think I'm the only girl as well. Wild. But send me a message on any erotic book as well, just to go back about 17 conversations ago.
Yeah. We'll read them. That's a promise.
Yeah, we'll read them. We'll absolutely read them.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.